Hi, I'm Wil Vicinus, the head trainer at Fearless Athletics, CrossFit South Philly. Welcome to the 2012 South Philly Rumble. Today we'll be reviewing the movement standards for all of the movements an athlete will expect to find during the Rumble. Workout 1 has two movements, the overhead squat and the muscle up. The overhead squat starts with an empty bar in a resting position on the squat rack. Athletes are responsible for loading and unloading the bar themselves, and for safety, collars must be used. Team members may help athletes load the bar. Once the bar has been loaded, the athlete is ready to begin the lift. When the bar has been moved from the rack, the lift has begun. At the top position, the bar is fully locked out overhead with the elbows, hips, and knees at full extension. In the bottom position, the crease of the hips is clearly below the top of the knee. To finish the lift, the athlete must return to the top position with elbows, hips, and knees at full extension. If the elbows bend at any time during the lift, it's a missed rep. For the muscle up, the athlete begins hanging from the rings in a fully extended position, with the arms, legs, and hips fully extended, the wrists turned out, and the feet clearly off the ground. At the top of the movement, the athlete will be in full extension above the rings, with the elbows fully locked out. Athletes may assist each other onto the rings. However, the use of boxes or other objects to get onto the rings is not allowed. Full extension of the body and full turnout of the wrists is required for every repetition. Workout number 2 has 4 movements: the clean and jerk, the burpee pull-up, the ball slam, and the double under. We'll start with the clean and jerk. The clean and jerk is a full squat clean to a split jerk. For the first repetition, the bar must start from a resting position on the ground. For subsequent reps, the athlete may use a controlled touch and go, but may not bounce the bar from the ground. If the bar is dropped, it must be fully at rest before the next rep is attempted. The bar must be pulled in a single movement from the ground to the shoulders and caught in the bottom of a full squat with the crease of the hips clearly below the knees. The athlete must stand with the hips and knees at full extension before performing the jerk. For the jerk, the athlete lands in a split position with a full lockout achieved upon landing. In the lockout, the arms will be fully extended with no bend to the elbows, and the ears will be clearly visible past the biceps. Athletes are allowed to adjust their grip before attempting the jerk. However, they are not allowed multiple attempts at the jerk within the same repetition. That's a no rep. The burpee pull-up is a combination of a burpee and a strict or dead hang pull-up. At the start of the repetition, the athlete is standing under an 8-foot pull-up bar with the hips and knees at full extension. The athlete performs a burpee at the bottom of the push-up, releasing their hands from the mat. The jump is to the pull-up bar, where he completes a strict pull-up. At the top of the pull-up, the athlete's head must be clearly over the bar with the chin breaking the frontal plane. Athletes may use momentum from the jump to assist with the pull-up, but kipping is not allowed. If the athlete does not achieve enough momentum to assist with their pull-up, the rep must be completed as a strict pull-up. If an athlete's feet go behind the bar, it's a missed rep. That's no rep. If the knees are bent at any time during the pull-up, it's a missed rep. That's no rep. The ball slam begins and ends in a full squat with the crease of the hips below the knees. At the top of the movement, the ball is fully locked out overhead with the arms, hips, and knees at full extension. If the athlete does not catch the ball on the bounce, he or she may pick it up from the ground. The athlete must complete a full squat in the final repetition, or the rep does not count. That's a no rep. For the double under, the rope must pass completely under the athlete's feet twice. Landing on top of the rope is a missed rep. The third and final workout has 5 movements: the rope climb, the wall ball shot, the kettlebell snatch, the thruster, and the box jump. The rope climb begins with both of the athlete's feet on the ground. The athlete must pull him or herself up from the ground and finishes the climb by touching the yellow strap above the knot at the 15-foot mark. For the rep to be complete, the athlete must lower him or herself down to the ground with both feet touching. In the wall ball shots, each repetition begins in a full squat with the crease of the hips below the knees. At the top of the movement, the entire ball must be clearly visible above the bottom of the 10-foot target. The ball must come into contact with the wall at or above the target for the rep to count. That was no rep. If the athlete does not achieve a full squat, the rep does not count. The kettlebell snatch begins with the kettlebell in a resting position on the ground, and it must come back into contact with the ground for every subsequent rep. The athlete may only use one arm at a time for the snatch, though they may alternate arms as needed. At the top of the movement, the kettlebell is locked overhead with the athlete's arm, hips, and knees fully extended. If immediate lockout is not achieved at the top of the rep and the kettlebell is pressed out, it's a missed rep. That's no rep. For the first repetition of the thruster, the bar must start from a resting position on the ground. For each additional rep, the athlete may stand with the bar in a racked position on the shoulders with the hips and knees at full extension. At the bottom of the movement, the athlete is in a full squat with the crease of the hips clearly visible below their knees. At the top of the movement, the athlete will achieve full extension of the arms, hips, and knees with the bar fully locked out overhead and the ears visible past the biceps. For the box jump, the athlete jumps with both feet simultaneously and comes to a resting position with both feet entirely on the box and the hips and knees at full extension. The athlete may jump off or step off of the box, but hip extension must be achieved before they leave the box. Achieving hip extension in the air is no rep. That's a missed rep. For safety, the entire foot must land on the box. That is no rep.